Live here at Tasty D's for Soul Connection Tuesday, actually Soul Connection Philly, and we're still discussing the autobiography of Malcolm X. And actually right now you are watching a good friend of mine who is not only a writer and a poet, but you would consider yourself an activist?
True that, definitely, an activist.
Okay. Talk to me about your feelings on Malcolm X.
Well, you know, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X my freshman year in college, and I was a little politicized before then, but that book really turned a curve for me, and I was never the same. I was an art major when I started college.
Wow.
I ended up as a law and human rights major by the time I graduated, and in large part it was because of everything I read in that journey that Malcolm X took. And you know, if I have to say anything about him in light of the movement that he was a part of, it's that he doesn't get the dap to this day that I think he deserves as a mover and shaker, as an influencer of things that occurred in that time.
Can I ask you a question? Would you consider yourself a Christian?
I consider myself a follower of the teachings of Christ,
okay,
but not a Christian.
In that regards, why do you think Christians don't acknowledge the fact that for some people, Islam does, you know, help you become a better man?
I think because the system that a lot of folk, a lot of Christians have come through in this country, and throughout the world, but particularly in this country, make it so that Islam is one, not understood, and then is in that lack of understanding comes the fear. And so Malcolm, of course, you know, being the Muslim man that he was, as opposed to the Martin Luther King and the Christian man that he was, people see the dichotomy and think the angry black man is to be feared, and those Muslims are to be feared, and the soft-spoken but powerful Christian black man is okay. We can deal with him, and I think that kind of scenario has transcended into this time, and so now this war on terror is all about the war on Islam, as opposed to really being about weeding out where folks might do harm. Timothy McVeigh, I mean, if, you know, we should be anti-Christian if, in this war on terror, if we were to take a look at him and the Hutari that just got released from jail on bail. I don't think that Faisal, I forget his last name, is going to wind up getting any kind of bail for doing what he did, but yet the folks who were members of the Aryan nation and trying to do basically the same thing this guy was trying to do, get out on bail, that says something, I think.
Wow. In your mind, what was the most profound part about Minister Malcolm's journey?
The most profound part was his leaving of the Nation of Islam, not necessarily by his own design, and his journey throughout the world, Africa and all parts of the world, and meeting Muslims, members of the same faith, who were all of different complexions and different ethnic backgrounds, and coming to a crystallization that Islam is really bigger than what he had himself thought it was. That as a religion and a practice of faith for the world, that it was far more powerful than he had realized up to that point. And I think that when he got there, he was looking at his level of activism from a human rights perspective in a way that I think transcended where he was before that, even though he was relating it to not just a civil right, but a human right. It was globally more powerful to him.
All right. Thank you very much.